smart and funny and deadly serious about making the country and world a safer, freer, happier place for everyone involved. His wife was a nice, pretty, black-haired woman named Alicia, and they had 4 kids, 3 middle school-age daughters, along with the true star of the show, their cute little 5-year-old boy, Terrence. The kindergartner had captured the world's loving attention by carefully imitating one of the full-dress Marines at the inauguration. I guess it was a good thing Terrence was so cute, because the news report was saying that the Prez was due in town today for a series of upcoming UN meetings that were going to clog up city traffic as tight as concrete in a drain pipe. "You're up early," I said as my oldest son Brian came in. "Yeah, I know, I heard some old guy yelling," he said, elbowing me as he grabbed the OJ out of the fridge. I glanced down at my flower-covered phone as I heard my text ringtone. Rats, I said, looking at it, then at the tablet screen. "Furry rats," said Brian groggily, draining his glass. I took off my apron and hung it around his neck. "There are times in life when a man has to pass the baton to his son, Brian. I'm all out of batons, so I'm passing this spatula. Your beloved nanny is in there, and she and the other multiple members of this family are very hungry and counting on you. Feed them well, my son. Watch the toast. Don't let it win." "What, cook breakfast? Me? I have practice." "Practice? You have a game at 1. It's 8. Sleeping practice." "Don't worry, kiddo," I said as I headed into the dining room. "You have that skill down pat. Again, beware of the toast, and may the force be with you." "Mary Catherine," I said as I came into the dining room waving my phone, "how can I break this gently?" "Work on a Saturday morning," the blonde Irish beauty said, wide-eyed as she gave me a look. I hated that look. In addition to being my kid's nanny, Mary Catherine was also my girlfriend? Significant other? Like everything else in my life, I guess you could say it was complicated. But does it have to be? I wondered, not for the first time. "On a Saturday morning?" she repeated. "It seems so," I said as I closed my eyes and bowed my head solemnly. "But we were going to go skating in the park. The kids were looking forward to it. Have all the other flatfoots in the entire city perished?" "It's Chief Fabretti, or I'd ignore it," I shrugged. "It's important. Something is up, I guess." "When is something down in this town, I wonder?" Mary Catherine said as I slunk out of there. Chapter 2. A little over an hour later, I was in Queens, sitting in a large open room on the 2nd floor of an ugly brown concrete and glass building off a service road in the south part of the small city that is JFK International Airport. The building was the Port Authority Police Department JFK Command Center, and outside the window next to me, bursts of white exploded up into the crystal clear air from the massive airport plows working the snow from one of the airport's 4 runways. Between the runway and the PAPD building, there was what looked very much like a parking lot, but on it, instead of cars, were several small white bullet-nosed corporate jets, and from the planes came groups of mostly male passengers. Some of them were tall and slim and wore dark business suits, and some of them were tall and bulky and wore olive-drab military fatigues. Every once in a while, one of the curious incoming passengers would enter the room I was sitting in and pass on through to one of the conference rooms at the far end where various closed-door meetings were taking place. The tall gentlemen were Secret Service, I knew. The guys in the suits and the polished wingtips, Presidential Protection Agents. The guys in the drabs with the long gun bags, Secret Service CAT, Counter-Assault Team, Tactical Agents. From the news report I'd seen this morning, I surmised that the Secret Service people were the forward contingent prepping for the president's imminent arrival in New York City for the General Assembly at the UN. What I didn't know was what I was doing here. I was working in the Major Case Squad, not dignitary protection. My boss, Chief of Detectives Fabretti,